With 3 races down, the stars of the ARCA Menards series are rising to the top.
Jesse Love wins the Talladega.
Now the drivers look to conquer Kansas Speedway. But racing in the heartland is not for the faint of heart.
Oh, they make contact, and around they go.
ARCA Racing at Kansas starts now.
Welcome to the Sunflower State. Kansas City, Kansas is home to Kansas Speedway. Host today to the ARCA Menards Series in the Dawn 150. As you can see, it is a gorgeous day. Few puffy clouds out there, but it is heating up. 83 degrees, expected to be in the 90s before the end of this race, and that is certainly the hottest race we have had. And you know, speaking of hot, Jesse Love has been the driver everybody is chasing. 2 weeks ago, back to Talladega Super Speedway, it was all Love as he brought it down to the wire. Brought home the victory for the first time at the Super Speedway. It was an emotional victory lane with his family celebrating. He's ready to do it again. And moments ago, he caught up with our Heather DeBow.
And Talladega was the 3rd career victory here in the ARCA Menards Series for Jesse Love, and a special one it was at that. Jesse, looking back on that win, talk about the emotion you were feeling that day in that victory.
I was pumped up. You know, it's never won a Speedway race before, and obviously checked that off the list. And I never raced a mile and a half and got the pole today. So hopefully we can all cap it off in the end. Have a bad, fast gear-inch Toyota Camry. Shayna Rush, everybody at Ventry Motorsports is doing a phenomenal job this weekend. We have a lot of speed in our car. I like our race run speed, so just got to go execute.
You spoke about it already, first mile and a half for you. What surprised you so far in the things that you've learned here about this track?
I don't know. I watched a lot of 2002 qualifying, like Ryan Newman, and he would always have this crazy big arc and stay on the throttle for a long time. So I ran my first lap in qualifying and just kind of bogged it down because we were able to be wide open. I was at least. And then the second lap, I was just arced that thing out to the fence into 3 and got a big run off of 4, and obviously it was a pull. So have a lot of speed and just trying to give it all I have, and I like going fast, and this kind of suits my style.
We will see if Jesse Love can take it from the pole to a back-to-back win.
And that Jesse Love, he's got some swagger, doesn't he? Well, we're so happy you're joining us today. Jamie Little joined by Austin Cindric once again and Phil Parsons. And, you know, we've been at 3 different places, 4th different style of track, first time on a mile and a half. And there's a lot of drivers in this field have never raced here before.
Yeah, for sure. We ran Daytona, Talladega. They're very similar, super speedways. So, okay, the guys and girls have that under their belts. Then we had Phoenix, which is essentially a mile short track. So that's completely different from what these drivers are going to feel here. First time on a mile and a half, but the speeds are high. The pole was 175 miles an hour. Our pole in Daytona was only 180 miles an hour on a 2.5 mile track with a lot more baking. So these drivers are really going to have their hands full. And we're going to have temperatures about 20 degrees hotter than it was this morning when they practiced. The conditions were perfect for practice, low 70s. They had a lot of grip. That grip's going to go away here this afternoon when they're in the 90s.
Austin, it wasn't very long ago you strapped in on a mile and a half track in a stock car for the first time. It's a lot harder than it looks. What are these young drivers up against?
Yeah, absolutely. Intermediate tracks can really be intimidating because, I mean, Phil touched on it. We've gone to big tracks with speed, and we've gone to short tracks with cornering. And now this is combining the two. You have cornering and speed all at the same time, and the decision-making you have to have while carrying those cornering loads, what you're feeling in the car, what you're asking out of the car is a lot different than anywhere else you go. So I think, to Phil's point, chasing the racetrack, understanding where it's going to go. Kansas has a lot of progressive banking, moving around where the tire rubber lays down. I think it's going to change throughout the race. But Kansas is also a good confidence builder. It's not going to be the only mile and a half these guys go to throughout the year. It's a smooth racetrack. It's inviting. There's going to be some drivers that learn a lot today.
A good measuring stick as well. And, you know, our point leader, he's never been to this place. First mile and a half ever for Frankie Muniz, who has been just so consistent through the first 3 races, has done a great job. You see he's got a 10-point advantage over Jesse Love so far.
Yeah, he's got to be looking behind him. Jesse Love is on his way, but a great start to the season for Frankie Muniz. We talk about little experience. Obviously, he's never been on a mile and a half either, but he has very little racing experience, period, and I think he's doing a super job.
You know, we have a few drivers in the field who are from Kansas, but there's one lady in particular, Miss Mandy Chick. An amazing job a couple of weeks ago at Daytona, finished 5th. Let's check in with her. She's standing by with Amanda Busick.
Growing up less than 20 minutes from here, Mandy Chick is going to make her debut at Kansas Speedway in front of her friends and family. Sold 143 tickets, close to 160 people here to root on the hometown girl. And Mandy, how surreal is this moment for you?
You know, this is the moment that it all comes together. This is a huge moment for us. Almost every week of my childhood, I drove by this Speedway and said, I'm going to be there one day and racing there. And, you know, this weekend it's emotional for our team, but it all comes together.
You got a little bit of a surprise in Talladega, that blown tire that caught you off guard. But talk about getting back to being race ready here.
Yeah, for sure. Since we're a volunteer, you know, mostly volunteer membered team and a family-owned team, it's a lot of hard work within our team. So for me, it was just going back to school and focusing while my team worked really hard. They put together this car for Kansas in 5.5 days, which is almost unheard of at this level. So couldn't have done it without my team and all their hard work to put it together.
Good luck today.
Thank you.
From DeSoto, Kansas, a lot of people rooting for Mandy Chick, but she had a scary moment at Talladega just a couple weeks ago. We were riding on board with her when this happened. A tire blew out. You saw her eyes got as big as saucers. Scary moment, but she was able to get things back together, rebuild the car, rebuild that team, and they are here and ready to go. So what will it be today? Be a wreck? Will it be a pass for the lead? Well, you can vote tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern. Head over to the ARCA Menards Series Twitter and Facebook pages at ARCA_racing to vote on what moment you think was today's sweet move of the race presented by Reese's. And there certainly have been plenty of drivers who've had a sweet move to make it to victory lane. Look at that. Alex Bowman, Chase Briscoe, Sheldon Creed have all gotten it done. See Nick Sanchez, he's racing later on, and that man right there, Corey Himes. So who will it be today? We don't have a winner in the field from Kansas before. We will have a first-time winner. Stay with us. We'll drop the green flag after this. Welcome back to the Dawn 150. We have 27 drivers on the grid ready to go. They are strapped in. All of the teams are ready. Hot day here in Kansas. Let's fire them up. Let's go trackside for the command to fire engines.
And of course, each and every driver. May your holy, sacred presence be evidenced throughout this entire afternoon. In Jesus' name, amen.
And now, race fans, here to say the most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome Dawn Chemicals and Surfactants Maintenance Planning Leader, Bob Post.
On behalf of Procter & Gamble, makers of Dawn, and representing my co-workers at the Kansas City soap plant, it's my privilege and honor to say, drivers, start your engines.
ARCA Menards Series will be racing from Kansas next. Stay with us. And welcome back to the Dawn 150 as you see cars rolling off the grid. Earlier today we had a little practice session. We had qualifying. This guy's got some good track time, but in the end it all came down to the fastest lap, and it went to that man, the General Tire Pole Award, won by Jesse Love. He was fastest in the test yesterday, practice, qualifying. So the question is, who, if anyone, can stop him? So starting next to him on the front row, Connor Mosack for Joe Gibbs Racing in the 18.
Remember, runner-up at Daytona. The only other race he's run this year in the ARCA Menards Series. Dean Thompson doing double duty, and I've been really impressed with Amber Balkan, as I mentioned before. Really a nice job today. Top 5 in practice and in qualifying.
Good to see Taylor Gray back in the field. Actually, David Gilliland is going to be his crew chief, so we'll see what they can do together.
That's right. And there's Frankie Muniz right there in row 3. Let's see if we can talk to Frankie and see what he's thinking right now. Hey, Frankie, Phil Parsons, Austin Cindric, Jamie Little up in the Fox booth. How does Frankie Muniz point leader sound to you?
It sounds great, but you know what would sound better if I can continue to say it after this race. Just want to race clean, hope to finish the race, and hopefully it's towards the front for sure.
We were talking up here about the fact that it's the first mile and a half for you, first mile and a half for a lot of people. Tell me what your thoughts are after practicing on this mile and a half for the first time.
It is so much more intense than I anticipated. You really feel the speed. The car is really on the edge. And I think it's going to be really intense to be in a race, you know, with 28 other cars side by side racing on it. But yeah, that's what we're here for. And hopefully we put on a good show. And like I said, hopefully we finish up front and finish the race.
All right, buddy. Appreciate your time. Have a great run.
Thanks so much, guys. Talk to you later.
I just love his energy. Isn't it fun? It's infectious. You know, it's hard to not root for the guy and the job that he's done so far. Well, how about the race analysis for the Dawn 150, Phil?
You see, this race is 100 laps, 150 miles. We're going to have a scheduled caution on or around lap number 50. Nick Sanchez won this race back in the spring of last year, and Jason Jarrett was our first win here back in 2001.
Track description of Kansas Speedway, mile-and-a-half racetrack, but I think what makes this place really special is the banking. You've progressive banking, both the corners a little flatter on the bottom, a lot more banking up top, so you'll be able to search around grip and try and figure out how to make the most speed around this track.
All right, for the stories to watch this afternoon, here's Amanda Busick and Heather DeBow covering all the action. Good afternoon, Heather.
Well, Jamie, it's been a very emotional weekend for Greg Van Alst and his team. His father, Bruce Van Alst, lost his battle with cancer just last week, and today they will race in his honor. Greg said it's difficult to put the helmet on for this race, but it's exactly what his dad would want him to do. They've shared many special memories at the racetrack, including the big victory at Daytona earlier this year. One of the last things Greg said to his father was, "Dad, come ride with me forever," and today he will be riding shotgun as his name is above the passenger side window. Amanda Busick.
Well, Heather, Toni Breidinger is entering into arguably one of the biggest weekends of her career. Her father, as well as her twin sister, Annie, is on hand for this moment. But she said pulling the double duty racing in the Craftsman Truck Series later tonight, she said she's trying to just act like today is no big deal in a way to control her nerves. When it looks at what's happened in the ARCA season so far, said that the only thing that's changed for her is making sure that she's trusting herself. That skill will be on test here today in Kansas.
It absolutely will be. What a big day for Toni Breidinger, one of 3 doing double duty with the Craftsman Truck Series coming up later today. All right, we have 5 onboards carrying all the action from the track. First up, the 7 and Matt Wilson with the Richmond onboard camera from Hot Springs, Arkansas.
We're also going to run along with Sean Cord. This is the Reese's onboard. This is the Nesco Ford. Sean qualified in the 20th position, but had a little incident in qualifying. We'll have to go to the back after repairs.
We got Amber Balkin starting in 4th today, carrying the Dawn onboard camera.
Also going to ride along with our point leader, Frankie Muniz, right there. That's the General Tire onboard. This is a built Ford, proud Ford for Frankie Muniz, trying to keep that point lead.
And rounding out our onboard is Toni Breidinger and the Sioux Chief onboard, starting today in the 8th spot.
Jesse Love on point, Connor Mosack. Connor's been here a couple of times already, so he's got a little bit more experience than most of the field. On the outside, Dean Thompson, a regular in the Truck Series. See what he can do with this extra seat time. Green flag is in the air. Nice start for the 20 of Jesse Love as he heads into turn 1 at Kansas Speedway. They fan out behind him. Slow start for Connor Mosack.
A little bit of contact, wasn't there?
Amber Balkin already up 1 position. She falls into 3rd, and they're still fanning out behind them.
Austin talked about this racetrack is wide, it's progressively banked. We're going to see these cars running all the way to the top of the racetrack. That's Taylor Gray, I believe, going to the top, and we're 3 wide already.
And you can already see Tony Breidinger get a little loose, like you mentioned earlier. There's the track conditions, the temperature is a lot different. I bet you these cars are a lot more of a handful than they were in practice.
It was pretty much overcast this morning when these cars practiced with a lot of grip, cool temperatures. Not that way now.
You can see that 17 car all the way up at the top. That's a guy who had truck practice and was running up there earlier today. I don't think a lot of these other drivers that didn't have that track time really know where the grip is, and Taylor Gray's making good use of that experience already.
And Dean Thompson in 5th right now. He told me, you know, when you're running double duty, all it does is give you confidence. So what you see with Taylor Gray, he just jumps right up there. He knows the track conditions. Yeah. He knows where he can go.
And Dean's already setting up a pass because of that. So that experience is going to really pay off for these guys early, as you see Dean running up above that top scene.
The laps are just invaluable here, whatever kind of vehicle you're in. These cars are enough like the trucks that all that helps.
Amber Balkan, this wasn't a scheduled race for her, but her sponsors came on board. They like what they see, so they brought her here to Kansas. She ran in the top 10, finished top 10 both races last year. So Amber with some good experience here. She runs 4th.
It was funny, last time I was up here in the booth for an ARCA race, Jesse Love was putting on a clinic with restarts, and he's pulled out a big lead as we got a battle for second here, really tight to the back bumper.
Taylor Gray, they're sideways, slipping and sliding already as Taylor Gray in the 17 tries to get around the 18 of Connor Mosack. Remember, Taylor was in the 18 earlier this season, but now he's driving for Tricon Garage.
I really like what Taylor Gray did this morning. He got in the car, made a long run, about a 15-lap run. We're going to see him. See, Connor got a little bit loose, obviously, with that car pulling right up behind him. Took a little air off that rear spoiler. But Taylor Gray has really done a nice job today in practice, and obviously has a fast race car.
At this racetrack, the further you go up the track, I talked about there being more banking, but it can also get quite a bit freer, especially when the track hasn't been used as much. There's not as much rubber down up there, so you might even have a little bit of looseness in the surface, a little bit of dust. And when you get that close and you haven't put your car in those situations, I think Connor just figured that out.
Taylor's going to clean that top of the racetrack off, though, for everybody.
I'll be ready for cup practice. Thanks to Taylor.
Greg Van Alst, the battle for 13th right now. That beautiful blue. Had a tough week. You heard Heather DeBow telling the story about how he just lost his father, Bruce, to cancer. And now he's racing for him. So he's going at it. But it's been certainly an emotional roller coaster for him as he battles Mandy Chick here.
Yeah, that's our local driver, Mandy Chick, doing a really nice job racing with Greg Van Alst. Mandy, as you mentioned, had a top 5 at Daytona, first race out this season.
I love this racetrack. There's just always battles all over because, like you said, you can hunt for that grip. You can move all around, go to the top, go to the bottom. And as these drivers are getting more comfortable, they're finding out that they can move around. But Taylor Gray, I love what he's done early on already, moved up. And our first incident, the 7, and Matt Wilson.
After turn 4 here, we have an onboard of it as well.
Yeah, see Matt carrying one of our onboards.
Caution out for the first time.
So he was running in the 21st position. I wonder if he just got loose there. 3 and 4 is definitely the
caution out at Kansas for the first time. Jesse Love has led them all so far. Yes. Kansas Speedway. Kansas home to a lot of things, including a great racetrack with great racing. But this was our first incident of the day. Matt Wilson running 21st. What do you think happened there, Austin?
Yeah, I think it's just classic loose entry going into the corner. You can kind of see the car fishtailing out as he's landing into the corner, and then he finally loses it and does a good job of saving the car. It doesn't look like there's too much damage, but I think it also gives a lot of these drivers a lot of time to think about it, because I feel like a lot of loose race cars out there.
And under this caution, we had a couple drivers pit, including Andres Perez and Greg Van Alst. Heather?
Yeah, Jamie, both those cars came in battling the same issue, just super loose right now. So they opted to come in early on in the race, since there's still 90 laps left, to make some wedge adjustments and track bar adjustments. Now, the 2 car, they battled a lot yesterday. with their handling as well. And Andres Perez really didn't get a lot of time or practice under his belt, so he's learning as he goes. As far as Greg goes, he's had a lot of experience here at this racetrack, and he really likes running here. So right now for them is just getting that car adjusted to where it needs to be to make something happen.
You like that call, Phil?
I do. Spend the time quickly, come in there, make some adjustments, and then get a little green flag racing to see if that helped. We know we're going to have a scheduled caution around lap 50, so if they need to make another adjustment, then they can do it then.
So 10 laps in, 90 laps to go. This one goes by in a hurry, so stay tuned. The Rookie Spotlight. This series is all about the rookies, and this one is certainly getting it done so far. Jesse Love, 18 years old. He's a two-time ARCA Menards Series West champion and just won his third ARCA Menards National Series race at Talladega.
Yeah, a lot of promise. You mentioned two-time champion on the West Coast. He was 15 years old when he won that first championship for Bill McAnally.
Such a nice kid, emotional kid, and he's got that swagger.
You talk about a guy that's won championships that young in his career. He's been waiting however many years to turn 18 so he can come drive at tracks like this, and he's finally getting that opportunity and certainly taking the most of it, and looks like he's prepared.
Driver from Northern California. He actually told me, he said, you know, I got to the track yesterday and I'm like, you know, it's a mile and a half. I've watched everything. I've been watching videos.
Been in the simulator.
Been in the simulator, done all of his stuff. He goes, so I got in the car. I may have been a little cocky. And I get in there, get on the gas, go into turn one. And I was like, oh my goodness. And he backed it off, tightened his belt, sat up straight and said, okay, this got my attention.
I can relate to the sitting up straight. Like if you go out for a pit stop or first lap of practice and the car's not doing what you want, you kind of exit turn two and you're like, okay, I gotta work here.
Well, you guys certainly make it look easy. So much racing action coming your way today. I mean, we're on, I think, for 10 straight hours on FS1. So stick with us today. We've got the Craftsman Truck Series race coming up later. Of course, the Cup Series race tomorrow.
A little practice and qualifying for Austin and the Cup Series.
Heck yeah.
And tomorrow on FS1, the NASCAR Cup Series battles the high speeds and tenacious track right here at Kansas Speedway. Pre-race coverage begins at 2 p.m. Eastern. Then the engines start for the Advent Health 400 at 3. That's on FS1 and, of course, the Fox Sports app. How you feeling about things for tomorrow, Austin?
Joey looks like he smelled something funny in that picture. I don't know why. He's always a smiley guy. Somebody must have liked some cheese or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel good. I think our last mile and a half feels like forever ago. Cup race. I mean, we were at Vegas. When was that? March, April?
Early March, right? Early March.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, Atlanta's. Well, you're the one that told me I didn't get a top 10 finish until Vegas the last time we were at a mile and a half, and I was like, I think I have, but.
And you hadn't.
I hadn't until then.
And then you got it done at Vegas. Yeah, so you're feeling good about tomorrow.
I feel good. Good. I think Taylor Gray's feeling good about his race car. He was putting faster lap times than Jesse was in the lead. So I think that'll be a pretty good fight up here.
It's going to be a good battle. Taylor Gray already up 3 spots. He went to the top early. Now he'll restart on the front row. Jesse Love on the outside. Green flag once again.
See, I like that restart. I like what Taylor was able to do. Saw what Jesse could do with the outside lane, getting that jump, but bottom lane has distance.
Look at this battle, side by side, a much different look than the initial start of this race. Jesse Love hangs on. Taylor Gray tucks in behind him.
We saw Jesse pull right down to the right rear quarter panel of Taylor Gray to kind of pull that car back a little bit. And that gave him the momentum to get back out front.
Should have a decent run off the top, but I do like the bottom lane. I think Jesse's going to have to think about what lane he wants to restart in the rest of the race, because it's a shorter distance around, and being able to maximize that off of turn 2 is a big advantage.
And these cars are going to be able to run wide open, especially on the initial restarts through 1 and 2, because of the reduced speed. As we see Taylor Gray jump back out to the lead.
He gave him room. He knows it's 14 laps in, but that was a really good 1 and 2, right on the painted line, really disciplined on the bottom. Trying to complete it here, but I think Jesse's gonna have some good momentum.
Exit of turn 4, who gets it?
3-horse race here.
Side by side.
We're arguing over space here early on in this race.
Meanwhile, the 25, Dean Thompson says, hello guys, I'm here to battle. three-horse battle up front.
It's a great opportunity for Dean Thompson to get some experience, also be racing this evening in the Craftsman Truck Series, but he's here to do more than that. He wants to go to victory lane here at Kansas.
Ooh. It looks like Taylor's a little loose here, but as you mentioned, I mean, having Dean getting the opportunity to run up front, you know, race with these guys, I think it's great. I think Taylor's now got to reevaluate how he's going to reel back in Jesse, as he kind of showed Jesse that top side where the speed's at right now.
We saw Dean run so well in the Truck Series race at Texas before a hard crash right towards the end, ran in the top 5 much of the race.
Heather?
And Austin, I want to go back to something you mentioned on the 20 car there of Jesse Love. Him and Billy Venturini actually had a conversation about whether or not he should run the top or the bottom, especially early in the race. And Jesse felt like he wanted the top. That was going to be the best line for him. But Billy disagreed. He said, I think running the bottom in the beginning is going to be where it's out. So as you mentioned, we'll see what he does here if we get another restart later in the race on if he sticks with that top line like he likes.
I think that's great information, because I think Jesse's answered his own question. He quickly moved back up to the top and really covering off the air here, and I think Taylor's going to have to really work him over to get that lane back.
Good battle for the 10th spot right here. Cody Coughlin, one of several races he's going to make, going to attempt this year in that 72 car. First race this season. And Christian Rose really doing a nice job in that battle for 10th.
Yeah, and Christian Rose is a perfect example of somebody, you know, he's never raced here, isn't sure what to expect. He said yesterday, and having that 90-minute practice session was everything for us. Just learning what you need to hang on for the long run here. So trying to battle to get inside the top 10. Christian Rose, of course, running full-time, one of a handful of drivers running in the ARCA Menards series every single week. Let's get an update from Amanda.
Well, Phil, you're talking about Cody Coughlin. He is back with us here this weekend. Said that we're going to see him at a lot of the big tracks this season as he gets up for eventually maybe a full-time season in ARCA next year. He did pit earlier, said that he was having some issues on being loose, especially up in 1 and 2, wants to stay on the bottom. But the other thing that he's trying to figure out is just his lift points in the rhythm of this speedway.
Trying to grab another spot from Tony Cosentino. Cody Coughlin has got blocked in behind the 0-3 of Alex Clubb, but he's got a great spotter up on top of the roof. And Terry Cook is a former Truck Series winner here at this racetrack in Kansas
back in 2006.
Yeah, there's Terry right there. Terry's won a number of Truck Series races, always battled up front. And he's kind of been a driver coach and a spotter for Cody for the last 3 years. And Cody's doing a nice job here.
Cody Coughlin shown in the 9th spot in that bright yellow and gray, number 72.
This lap traffic's making Cody's life really hard, but he's trying to make a difficult pass, because as the tires start to wear out here, that bottom lane's going to get harder and harder and harder to run. So the moment he can hear the word clear is his best friend, because I guarantee he's going to go back up above that top seam.
Yeah, he's waiting for Terry Cook to tell him he's clear. Looks like he's clear now. He's going to make that pass, be able to move back up the racetrack a little bit.
And Christian Rose behind them, waiting for something to happen, trying to pounce if he can. We're 20 laps in, 80 to go here at Kansas. It's been all about Jesse Love and Taylor Gray. And welcome back to the Dawn 150, and Sean Corr in the 8 goes around coming off turn 4, and that will bring out the second caution of the day.
See a little bit of damage already. Again, that was from qualifying. Sean got into the outside wall qualifying.
Sean Corr was running 18th at the time, but he was able to just bring it down pit road immediately. He had his issues earlier. See him get sideways right there, certainly loose.
What a great save there, though. The problem is, it's not going to get better. That loose situation's probably not going to get better.
Especially when you stand full throttle, try and save the car. And
ooh, he tried to
front
right
Jesse
in front
Love,
of
man.
the leaders.
Looks like Jesse was able to keep it out of the wall, but yeah, good opportunity for them to work on that 8 car.
Watch Sean from the onboard here. He's probably going to have his hands full trying to keep this car straight.
Tell you what, it's very rarely when you're inside of a race car you can hear the tires squealing. Everything else is so loud, the air moving around the car, the engine noise. You can hear the front tires and then the rear tires squealing the entire way. He's putting a lot of right hand down.
See another look here.
He's just happy that he has a car left right now.
100%. It could have been a lot worse for...
Watch how close that was, though, for our leader, Jesse Love. Whew.
If only we could see Jesse Love's eyes at that moment. Heather.
And Sean Corr has had his hands full this weekend. Now, if you remember, the last time he raced here at Kansas Speedway was 12 years ago, back in 2011, and he said everything is completely different. Back then, they used to race the steel body cars. There wasn't that banking that they have here now, so he's just been trying to get his legs underneath him. As Phil mentioned, he did have damage in qualifying. He said he held it wide open in 1 and 2, and it stuck, so he tried it in 3 and 4, and it didn't work out. Right now, we saw the incident that just happened. He said his tires definitely are flat spotted, so they're going to have to come in and make some adjustments on that 8 and get him some Ford General tires.
So this is the leaders right here, the 20 coming with the head of steam. Taylor Gray right behind him. Gosh, Sean Corr did a great job keeping it off the wall and keeping those two out of trouble.
I would guess Jesse Love's eyes looked about like Mandy Chick's eyes when that tire blew out at Talladega a couple of weeks ago.
Absolutely.
No doubt. So what happens in these instances in the ARCA Menards series, obviously an official has to come over and make sure, okay, yes, we do clear you to put some tires on, because you're not allowed to take tires or fuel before that scheduled caution. And that's still to come. 72 laps to go from Kansas. Jesse Love, close call because of this. Welcome back to the Dawn 150 at Kansas Speedway. We're under caution for the second time today after Sean Corr went around. He was able to come down pit road, put some tires on it, and he's back out. How about Toni Breidinger, running 15th right now? She is the Suchi Fast Track Driver of the Week. 19 USAC midget wins, most all-time by a woman. 35 career ARCA starts. 9 top 10 finishes, and she's making her Craftsman Truck Series debut later on this evening. Amanda.
When the conversation she's been having with their spotter, he's been telling her to be careful with the wake of the car in front of her. She did apologize and said, hey, I'm sorry, I was looking in my rear view mirror. So, Phil, Austin, just how much balancing in these moments?
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot going on, especially when you're racing right in the middle of the pack, as far as, you know, looking, see who's around you, and that's why you got to trust that spotter to know what that information is, and it's obviously worry about the placement of your car. When you're talking about dirty air and traffic, there's nowhere else that's going to really affect your car as much as it would at like an intermediate track.
Yeah, people really wouldn't understand how much time you spend looking in your mirror or whatever. It's not as bad as Daytona, Talladega, or now Atlanta, but you constantly look in your mirror to know where people are around you, as in addition to relying on your spotter as well.
You saw on board Toni Breidinger. She has a brand new sponsor to the series, to the ARCA Menards series. It's new for the Truck Series, Victoria's Secret. I think that's a perfect branding together. She's been working on that deal, so yeah, good to see new sponsors come into the sport.
Yeah, really excited for her to make her debut tonight in the Truck Series. Qualified 24th, which is pretty respectable for the truck race tonight.
We talked about a busy day on track here at Kansas, and we have a perfect day for it. Tonight on FS1, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series is here in Kansas for some high-speed action under the lights. See who will rise above the rest and take home the prize. The engines fire tonight at 8 Eastern on FS1. Christian Eckes on the pole, looking good.
Yeah, and there's a guy named Kyle Busch in that field tonight.
Oh yeah,
he's usually pretty good.
Trying to get win number 100 for KBM. We've got 3 double-duty drivers coming up in that series, but yes, right here, practicing qualifying for the Cup Series. So Austin will take off the bow tie, go down, put your fire suit on, jump in the car. Got race day at 7 Eastern, and then the Truck Series race 8 Eastern. So what do you think? How's qualifying here in a Cup car?
I love qualifying here in the next gen car. It's a lot higher up the racetrack than you'd expect. I remember the first time we came here in Vegas, chasing the racetrack up in between rounds, looking at other driver data, getting confidence based off other drivers, and understanding, what these cars are limited to. The Cup car now has quite a bit more drag, the same power, but quite a bit more drag than in years past. So like momentum is everything at a track this big, and being able to really put it all on the line for qualifying, a couple inches off the wall is pretty cool, and probably pretty unexpected to those at home when you think of Kansas Speedway, but it is what makes this racetrack a lot of fun.
I love it. And by the way, he wore a bow tie at Talladega and back by popular demand, but this is your style. Does it go back to your band days?
It does. It does go back to band class, Jamie.
With the tuba?
With the tuba, yeah.
Love it.
So I have plenty of bow ties. Twitter totally chose the one with the race cars on it for me to wear to call this ARCA Menards Series race, and I wouldn't expect any less. This was also your choice, so I knew that no matter what anybody else said, I had to keep it. She knows her fashion. I mean,
yeah, she showed me the options. She said, this is the one I'm going with, so I agree.
Absolutely.
Vintage cars. The month of May, there's a lot of racing going on. It's just appropriate, and it looks great. It's dapper, I think, would be their appropriate.
Well, I can tell you I've worn this tie more than any other bow tie that I have.
There you
go. Did you tie it yourself?
I didn't get Jeremy Bollins to do it for me while I was getting changed in the hauler. So yes, I did.
Heather.
And Jamie, with the month of May comes warmer weather, and as we've mentioned, this is the hottest race these guys have had so far. And Frankie Muniz just came over the radio, and the team asked him, "Hey man, you can't be that hot yet." And he said, "Oh yeah, I'm hot in here." And then they gave him a hard time because his arms are too short to get his hand out the window to get some breeze coming his way. So they're having some fun right now. And Frankie also mentioned to me he was supposed to have a cool suit this weekend, but it didn't come in time. So hopefully for Charlotte, he'll be ready with that.
No respect. No respect whatsoever.
I wish I had that problem.
He's trying. I've never heard that before.
Well, Justin Haley's got the same problem.
Yes, he would.
I'd trade the height, though. I would.
He's a Hollywood actor. A lot of them are short,
absolutely,
right?
I'd trade it.
Pace cars and green flag is in the air. Jesse Love, Taylor Gray on the front row. Watching these two side by side into turn one. What a battle it is. Jesse Love going to make the top stick. Can he get past the 17?
He did the same thing he did on that previous restart. Stuck that left front fender right on the right rear quarter panel of Taylor Gray.
So it'll be interesting to see the run that Taylor gets off the top here, being able to get that momentum. These are obviously older tires, and I think that restart might look different on new tires.
Dean Thompson in the 25, a great restart once again. Connor Mosak in the 18, the only Joe Gibbs racing car in the field. That is your top four.
Cody Coughlin now has moved up to the 5th spot. He was right on the bottom of the racetrack in that yellow car. Here's Cody. You see him, that yellow car moving a little bit lower than these other cars. Good to see him back in the series. He ran a couple of races last year. Actually had a top 10 finish at Michigan. He was running in the top 5 in the second race at Kansas last year, and believe it or not, ran out of fuel, which means with scheduled caution that you didn't get it for, because they certainly should be able to go more than the 50 laps that they have to after that scheduled caution.
I'll tell you what, I've been talking a lot about running up top, and he has been committed to painting that line on the bottom, and he's made up a lot of track position doing that. As now he moves up the racetrack right when I say that.
He thought you were going to say that, so he was going to prove you wrong.
That's right. It's where the grip is. I'm telling you, if I was in the 72 car, I'd be up above that top scene. But obviously, Cody knows where the grip is.
Hey, we haven't talked about the 6 of Jack Wood. He just came into frame, battling for the 6th spot with Frankie Muniz, who you mentioned this earlier, Austin, the vibration.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the camera or not, but Phil, you said some teams were struggling with some vibrations in the practice.
Yeah, there's a new aerodynamic pan that runs all the way across the bottom of the front of the car for downforce, and a lot of the drivers were complaining about vibrations. And what I think a lot of the crew chiefs have discovered is the fact that that pan is vibrating. So a lot of the drivers crews spend extra time anchoring that pan this morning to keep that thing from vibrating. Jack had made it up to the 5th spot for that restart, started back on the 9th spot. So Jack was making some good headway. Last time we saw Jack, remember at Phoenix, he was on his way to a possible victory and got wrecked out, but He's coming off a victory at Sonoma in the Trans Am, the TA2 series. I was talking to him down in the garage area. That's close to his home too, where he grew up. So a huge win for Jack in the Trans Am series.
It's pretty cool to call Sonoma your home track, and he gets the win on an off weekend. So Jack Wood doing a nice job just jumping in and out of different seats, just getting that experience. Of course, he shares the 51 truck with Kyle Busch. Kyle's in that tonight. So Jack's here running the ARCA Menards series. Heather.
And his team just told him he just turned his fastest lap of the day. And when I talked to Jack earlier this weekend, he was saying how it's kind of weird to have that part-time schedule. It's really great to be able to run different series, but sometimes he's really busy, and then he'll have a couple weeks off before he gets in the car. So kind of managing that mentality of, hey, I'm going to race for a while, and then, just kidding, you have a break. But he said he's been really enjoying it. And, of course, that win in Sonoma was one of his highlights for the season so far.
Yeah, Jack Wood, 2 top 10s in his 3 races so far. He'll have 8 total here in the ARCA Menards series. But what a battle for second right now. Dean Thompson in the 25, all over Taylor Gray in the 17, trying to find a spot to make it work.
Yeah, I think Taylor's starting to struggle with the handling of his race car, and Dean's able to get a lot of the momentum off the top side. You could see him offset up a little bit higher. Now he's going to have to make a decision. Is he going to go higher or lower than the car in front of him? And stays glued to that line, dipping down, splitting the seam, trying to keep the momentum. I think 3 and 4 look like his better corner compared to Taylor Gray.
Taylor was one of the first cars to go to the top of the racetrack. Probably not as much rubber up there as at the bottom. Is he paying the price for that, do you think, Austin?
I think there's a good chance of it. I mean, you can see in this camera shot, you can see tire tracks, you can see rubber getting put down in this racetrack. Over the last 3 or 4 years, I feel like this place has really taken a lot of rubber, and what that means is when that rubber goes down, your grip goes away, and you have to search for cleaner racetrack, for a little bit more grip. You see Dean get a little bit caught up in the wake there and having to reset his run.
And when we talk about wake, obviously the air coming off these cars, the closer you get, the more that air is going to go over the top of your front end, and you're not going to get that front downforce that you would have if you had nobody in front of you.
There's a good replay of Taylor getting loose, just using up all the racetrack here. I think it's got a ton of yaw in it, even on the straightaway. It's pretty wild to watch him go around the racetrack, but starting to get a little free. I think he wants some adjustments to have another crack at this lead.
Yeah, that's definitely a tool that these ARCA teams will use, is to have skew, which means the right rear corner is going to stick out from the right front corner, and that just gives them some more side force, some more down force. Even though they pay the price a little bit down the straightaway, they more than make up for it in the corner. You'll be able to see these cars. Watch how that right rear corner is actually stuck out in the air a little bit to create that side force and down force.
Taylor Gray in the 17 clearly has his hands full, Amanda.
Phil, I think you just identified it right there. He did radio over to his crew and said that the right rear tire is absolutely smoked. He did get some reassurance from his spotter saying, hey, bud, you're showing maturity out there. Keep on it and hold on until that scheduled caution.
So that was a pretty big slide all the way through the entry phase of turn 3 and 4. So I think he's lucky he's got about 5 laps left in this run, because he's wheeling it.
Crew chief, that's the pit box for the 17 of Taylor Gray. David Gilliland was actually listed as the crew chief on the box with Tricon Garage. So that's a different role for David.
Yeah, that's Matt Pusha, a longtime crew chief, and he was most recently with Roush last year, handling the Ford program.
Yeah, Matt Pusha has been around a long time. Good to see him up there. Side by side as they work their way around the lap traffic. Dean Thompson on the bottom. Taylor Gray trying to hold him off on the high side. About 4 laps or so to go before the scheduled caution.
You can really see that skew from behind. It's even more prominent looking from behind. But all these teams take advantage of that. And David Gillen, you know, he's listed as a crew chief, and he is the crew chief. A good battle for 9th here. Andres Perez moving by Christian Rose, but David, he's no rookie when it comes to crew chief. And you know, he was the crew chief for his dad Butch when they won the West Series championship way back when.
Christian Rose has his hands full here. I know their big focus was trying to make it hang on for the long run, but you know, he was a college baseball player. He said, my fitness, I work out, I do CrossFit, so I think today will be right in my wheelhouse. And Sean Core, he had that issue earlier, riding on board with him right now.
Got a really good battle here for second. Dean Thompson's been doing his job heating up the left rear quarter panel of the 17 car. It almost at the point where it's making Taylor's loose car way worse than it already is. I think Dean cut him break there with the slide job, but he's making Taylor's car a lot looser than it already is with that air pack.
And Taylor wants to hold on to that spot. Obviously, if he stays in second, they will be able to restart on the front row, because we're getting ready to have that scheduled caution here in another 2 or 3 laps.
Taylor Gray, Dean Thompson, they're actually teammates in the Craftsman Truck Series for Tricon Garage. So I'm sure they're having a little fun, but Dean wants that spot, darn it. He wants to restart on the front row after this scheduled caution and pit stop coming up.
I think Dean's having more fun than Taylor is right now.
I would say his car looks a little more hooked up right now.
Talking about drivers looking in their mirror, that's one way to get it going. When you got someone that close to your bumper, you're trying to do whatever you can to not offset your car. Looks like Dean was finally able to get more position, but Taylor's not going to give it up. He just wants second place.
It has been an impressive day, an impressive couple of days for Jesse Love in the 20. He has led all 49 laps of this race so far. So they'll all come in and make some adjustments, get some tires, and we'll see if anybody can catch them.
As hard as these guys are battling for second, though, they really haven't let Jesse get that far ahead. He's still less than a second ahead of these guys, so they're still putting some pretty good pace up there, even though they were running side by side for a good bit.
Yeah, the other thing I've picked up on is that Connor Mosack is also sticking in here. He obviously didn't fire off that great, kind of got left behind by the top 3, but as they've been battling, as the tires have gotten worn out, Connor's been able to make some lap time and stick with it, and I think he's probably thinking he's an adjustment away from being able to race with those guys inside the top 3.
Remember, they will be able to change tires and add fuel here at this scheduled caution. They will still have a set of tires in the pits, and I was talking to Jesse Love's crew chief as the caution comes out for the scheduled caution. I said, how late is it too late to put on your last set of tires? He said, never. He said, if the caution comes out with 1 lap to go and we still have that set of tires, we're going to put them on.
That was Big Bill Venturini. Is he going to get a kiss on the lips in victory lane again today? We will have to wait and see. They like what they're seeing. They must be Jesse Love fans. It's been all about him today. ARCA Racing on FS1 is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards. And by Bounty. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper. Cars are in. It's pit stop time. Amanda.
There's a little confusion happening right here on pit lane. The crew chief is yelling at the Taylor Gray team to put the rubber on the left rear. It was going to be 4 tires for this car, no fuel, but at the side of that yellow for the scheduled caution, Taylor Gray just simply said, thank gosh, said that this car was way too loose. His team did tell him, hey, we're going to tighten this thing up for you. It's going to be a much more fun second half for you. But 3 generations of Grays are on the pit box watching this pit stop for Taylor. Johnny Gray, Shane Gray, and of course Tanner, who we'll see later on tonight. Heather?
And for the 25 of Dean Thompson, he said the car's really coming to him right there, just a little tight on exit. So they did 1 round out of the right rear and a half a round down on the track bar. But his crew chief, Kevin Reed Jr., said, I think once we get to clean air, we will really have something for these guys. For the 20 of Jesse Love, so far he's led all the laps, a little free into 3, and his entry into 1 is neutral. No big adjustments there for them. They did a chassis adjustment, but he did ask for some ice and a drink because it's getting a little hot in that race car. And for the 18 of Connor Mosack, he started this race off, as Austin mentioned, he didn't fire off the way he wanted to, a little bit too loose, but now he's moving toward that tight condition. So they made a quick adjustment for him, but he did say he feels he has a good long run car. As we see the 30 getting a push off pit road here.
Thank you, Heather. Yeah, Frankie Muniz with an issue.
That's going to put him a lap down. These scheduled caution flags, you have to beat the pace car back out. You will maintain your position that you came in to pit road, but you have to beat the pace car out, and obviously Frankie did not do that, so he's a lap down. Christian Rose is another car that I saw the same thing happen. He got lapped down pit road.
Not good for Frankie Muniz. Somebody lost a wheel there.
And that's not good either.
You don't need that.
But Frankie came in as the point leader. He's finished the top 10. at Talladega. He was running top 10 here, so an issue. They battled some things yesterday. They had some gremlins going on. Looks like maybe he has it fired up, good to go now.
Yeah, the tough part about him being in the points lead is you got the first pit stall. So they're trying to push start him before they get to the speed line. It seemed like he was able to get him going there.
Well, Kansas Speedway is the only track on the ARCA Menards series that races twice. So we will be coming back September 8th. And there it is, the Sioux Chief 150. September 8th. Mark those calendars now. Sioux Chief, the title sponsor. They're America's manufacturer of plumbing products, and they're based right here in Kansas City, Missouri. So they will be the title sponsor.
Yeah, long-time supporter of the ARCA Menards series.
All right, 46 laps to go from Kansas. We'll step aside and we'll drop the green flag on the backside. Welcome back to the Dawn 150. As you see here, Frankie Muniz with trouble on pit road after his pit stop. Couldn't get it refired. They had to push him back into his pit box before he got it fired. And you see on board what his view was and his reaction when this was happening.
Yeah, he knows what's happening. He knows that he's going to lose a lap there. One of three cars actually that lost a lap, along with Frankie. It was Christian Rose and Tony Constantino, all lost a lap. And what a schedule caution is you will maintain your position that you came off the racetrack onto pit road, but you have to beat the pace car out. And those three did not do that, Heather.
And the issue there is you saw him trying to get a push start is that the water bottle that came in the window actually hit the kill switch and turned the motor off. And this team had an issue with starters yesterday. As you see the crew chief here, Mark Redd, I just checked with him. They had to change the starter twice yesterday. So that was the issue as far as the 30 trying to get off pit road there.
Yeah, they changed it again this morning after qualifying as well. But
it wasn't an issue. It was an accident.
What an amazing, horrible break for the water bottle to hit the kill switch.
And of course they're probably on edge thinking we've had issues, so oh no, is this going to put us out today?
Yeah, and that's something not something that you're automatically going to think, well, it's the kill switch. You know, you're just going to wonder what went on or whatever, and it may take a little bit of time to figure out that it was the kill switch, and I'm sure that's what happened to Frankie, and now he's in the battle for the free pass.
Yeah, so Frankie Muniz came in 8th. Now he's back in 16th, as you just mentioned. He's in that free yep, one lap down. He's the first one a lap down, so free pass position there. And remember, Reese's sweet move of the race, you get to vote on it tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern. Head on over to that ARCA Menards Series Twitter and Facebook page. It's at ARCA_racing, and you can vote on what moment you think was today's sweet move of the race presented by Reese's. And as we always see, sometimes it's a wreck, sometimes it's a near miss, and sometimes it's just a great pass for the lead. So what do you guys think so far?
I don't think we've seen the sweet move yet, but if we had to pick right now, I would say when Jesse missed Sean Corr when he was spinning earlier, I think that would be my leader, but we haven't seen the Reese's sweet move yet.
Here's my bold prediction. It'll happen off of turn 4.
Okay, I like it.
What lap?
I don't know, Phil.
Well, I mean,
I was taking a stand on something. I mean, don't make me take 2 stands.
We have 4 corners and 2 straightaways, and you picked turn 4. I thought you might have some inside information or something.
Yeah, turn 4's hard, man.
Well,
it's the last one.
That's where our one candidate came from, right?
That's right.
Where
Absolutely.
Sean Corr spun right in front of the leaders. So this is the moment we just talked about. Sean Corr goes around right in front of the leaders. Coming off turn 4. To your point, Austin.
Turn 4, problem spot. Confirmed.
So hang tight. Stay in front of your TV. This will fly by, and we will have some.
We'll have some more options. We'll have some more options.
Yes, we will.
I think we're going to have some great racing here. Second bold prediction. Bottom lane wins on the restart.
Okay.
Taylor Gray wants to lead.
Let's see. 42 laps to go here. Taylor Gray, Jesse Love. Side by side into turn 1. Connor Mosack, Dean Thompson back there in row number 2, and Amber Balkin in the 15 right behind him.
Remember, all these cars with fresh tires, new tires. This is as good as they're going to feel right here. Wide open through that end of the racetrack.
Still side by side as they go through turn 3. Who comes out on top? Taylor Gray.
Bottom lane. That was perfectly executed by Taylor, keeping the side draft on the back straightaway and getting the track distance in 3 and 4 with his new tires.
Right on the money with a prediction for Austin. Bold
prediction. He's winning up here. Jesse Love drops to the bottom. I love this. This is what's so great about this racetrack.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the first time Jesse's going to be in dirty air too all day. You know, he's led every single lap up to this point, so he just got passed on the bottom. He figures he's going to try and pass him back on the bottom.
Still side by side coming out of turn 4. Jesse Love trying to hang on, trying to lead them all. But Taylor Gray wants to stop that. He wants to lead a lap today.
He wants to lead the last lap, but he wants to.
And he gets it.
He wants to lead the rest of these laps too. But Jesse's car looks awfully good there on the bottom as he paints that white line.
And what's going to change here is when the tires get older, he's not going to be able to do that line anymore.
This has been a fun battle too. Dean Thompson in the 25 has been pretty hooked up, and Connor Mosack, they've been chasing it a little bit on that long run. Joe Gibbs Racing in the 18.
Dean's one of those guys that has a little bit of experience here. Good battle there.
Greg Van Alst all the way up to 6th.
Yeah, Greg's made his car better. Jim Long, his crew chief, has made that car better. Andres Perez, the 2 car, as well as Cody Coughlin in the 72.
Greg Van Alst, remember we talked about him, had issues earlier in the race. They came in and pitted earlier, obviously making that car better. But he said all volunteers working on that 35 car. He said literally they put in overtime this week trying to get an engine put in this car. He said, I don't know if my guys are going to have real jobs when we return to Indiana, but it'll be worth it because they knew they had something good. As you see Greg Van Alst there in the 6th spot.
Set a pass for the lead as well with Taylor Gray doing a good slide job down to the bottom as we see.
Getting a report that Amber Balkin may have clipped the wall.
She still maintains that 5th spot.
This battle's not over yet.
This is great. See what kind of momentum Jesse can get from the outside. I think he's going to be able to get alongside of him, but bottom lane 1 and 2 is going to be pretty difficult. Going to have to get clear here. She does.
This is the kind of battle you hope for. I mean, these two have been going at it. Tricon Garage in the 17. You got Venturini Motorsports, the 20 team.
When you know Jesse's going to run some Truck Series races later on for Tricon Garage.
Yes. So these two will be teammates.
There's Big Bill. Oh, trouble.
Big impact.
Jason Kitzmiller hard into the wall.
And the caution comes out for the 4th time today. Got a fire underneath there for Jason Kitzmiller. Well, that's a big fire.
Sure is. We saw that happen yesterday just for an oil leak, not an accident.
He was
for
running
Andy Janakowiak.
He was running 9th at the time of this incident. We'll have to look back and see what went wrong with Jason.
Good to see him get the winding that down and trying to unbuckle his cool air vent from his helmet.
AMR safety team always so quick on the scene, making sure that the driver's okay. Get him out safely.
That's something that has gotten better and better and better over the years is the safety team. We used to think it took forever for the safety team to get to the car. Not anymore. They are on top of things.
All the communication they have those radios. They're talking to the infield care center so they know what's happening. They're watching. They're listening to what the driver and the team is saying. Jason Kitzmiller out of Maysville, West Virginia. Had some solid runs. It's been a while. He's run here before.
Amber Balkin, we talked about maybe getting into the outside wall. She took.
Looks like she's got some damage on her left front fender, though. I wouldn't be surprised if that's
from another car, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe, as you mentioned, maybe some contact with a 97 of Kitzmiller.
Looks like some yellow in there for sure. Let's see what happened here. Amber Balkin in the 15.
Ooh, just got really, really loose. Made contact with Kitzmiller. Then all she was trying to do was just maintain control of her car. That second hit that turned him into the wall was not intentional. She was just trying to maintain control. But
Amber Balkin running top 5 right here with this issue.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the pinch points in this racetrack. That late exit off of turn 2, that wall comes up to you really fast, and obviously she had to lift out of the gas and obviously made her car loose and get in the fence, and obviously big impact with the 97 car, and unfortunately ended his day.
Yeah, sometimes just the lift off the throttle is enough to make that car loose.
Big fire for Jason Kitzmiller. Good to see him get out of that car. Have to find out what happened there, but glad to see that he is okay. There he is.
Going to be a big break for Frankie Muniz. He's going to get the free pass. He'll be back on the lead lap.
And Amber Balkin came in and had some repairs done, so she's back there shown in the 13th spot. See if she can continue here. Well, it's been a heck of a battle between Jessie Love and Taylor Gray. Who will hang on? This is the Dawn 150. And we're back at Kansas Speedway. This is on board with Frankie Muniz and what he saw that brought out that last caution.
He's going to have his eyes really big too here in just a minute. What a nice job he's going to do. There's Balkin into the wall, into Kitzmiller, and Frankie splits the defense.
I would say that is Frankie through the middle.
I think, yeah, I think that's my leader as of now. Anyway,
gets him back on the lead lap. I think that
was a big moment turn of events for him for sure.
So I think we have a couple of good nominees so far. I think there's more to come, like you said. Watch that turn 4. Remember, starting tomorrow 9 a.m. you can vote on which move you think is the Reese's Sweet Move of the race.
That was turn 2, Austin.
It's turn 4, man. Turn 4 is going to be the winner.
That's going to be the winner.
I'm telling you, turn 4.
Work continues on Amber Balkin's car. We'll drop the green flag again and see who comes out on top. 31 laps to go. ARCA Racing on FS1 is brought to you by General Tire. General Tire delivers the freedom to explore. And by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Reese's, not sorry. All right, still under caution here for the 4th time today. So we'll take a look at the General Tire Super Speedway Challenge, Phil.
Yeah, this is race number 3 of 7. All the racetracks that are 1.5 miles and above. We'll end that up back here at Kansas in September. And this goes to the car owner. So you can have different drivers, multiple drivers, and still win this award. And that's happened in the past. And for somebody like the Venturinis with different drivers driving the 25 car, that's certainly possible.
The owner championship is a big deal. Amber Balkin, you could see she's gone behind the wall. Amber, what are they saying? Heather, what are they saying?
Yeah, unfortunately here it looks like her day might be done. Amber said over the radio, sorry guys, I messed that up. As we saw in those replays, she hit the right rear of the car on the wall and then the left front on the 97. They tried to fix the damage with the bare bond. They also changed tires, but she does have a vibration and her window net goes down right now.
Thank you, Heather. Gosh, tough break for Amber Balkin. Running top 5, great speed in practice, qualifying, was doing all the right things.
Yeah, still a lot of positives to take away from here. Again, top 5 in practice, top 5 in qualifying, and solidly in the top 10 this entire race.
How about the 2 car running 5th right now? Andres Perez. He's finished 4th in the 2 races that he's been able and old enough to run this year. Just doing a great job.
He wasn't old enough to run our first race at Daytona. He turned 18 after the race at Daytona. Really doing a nice job. It's amazing what Max Siegel's been able to put together over the years with this Rev Racing. Max was honored back in April by the North Carolina Motorsports Association for all his initiatives for diversity and everything. And what a list of graduates he has from that program as we take a look at Amber unfortunately having to get out of her car.
Yeah, tough break for Amber. I know she puts in so much time and effort in her prep. Her sponsors have been so good and loyal to her. She's been trying to add more races. Certainly not the finish that she deserves. I mean, that was a great car.
Yeah,
with
a lot of positives, though. A lot of positives. Yeah.
Absolutely. But Andres Perez, he's been very impressive with Rev Racing. But the question has been, Taylor Gray, Jessie Love, who comes out on top?
Well, according to Austin, it's going to be Taylor on this restart because he's on the bottom.
That's right.
Yeah, I still see the bottom winning because the outside got a really good push the last launch and it still lost. So see if I'm not going to put my eggs in the basket, but bottom lane looks pretty good.
Those cars are pretty equal right now too. Those 2 cars up front.
And I really like what I've been seeing out of the 25. Dean Thompson outside 2nd row. We go another restart nose to nose as these 2 go into turn 1. Taylor Gray, Jessie Love.
I'd say your biggest difference here from the last restart is you don't have new tires, so you don't have the big grip. So you got to establish track position early before you start working your way back up the racetrack.
What a great battle here. You see the second row right there with him too. Mosak in the 18, Dean Thompson in the 25. There's Perez in the 2, and Greg Van Alst.
Look at these two leaning on each other for the lead. Right behind him, Dean Thompson. Connor Mosak with his hands full. Saw him get really loose. He slid back a little bit.
And Dean Thompson going to make it 3 wide here while these two guys are down here side drafting each other.
Exit at turn 2, trying to go 3 wide.
Dean played that really smart, backing off, getting a run off the top on the outside, clearing them both, top of 3 for the lead.
Taylor Gray slips back. Is he going to go back to 4th? No, he's got a side-by-side with Connor Mosak in the 18. Right now, Dean Thompson to the point.
Jesse Love said, where did my teammate Dean Thompson come from?
Working hard for it for Dean. And this is going to be a long day. It's pushing 90 degrees right now. He's racing the Truck Series coming up later this evening.
Yeah, good they'll have a few hour break in between here, but right now I'm sure Dean's not feeling anything other than trying to keep that 20 car behind him, and Jesse Love's going to go back to the front.
Yeah, Jesse buried it off into the corner on the bottom, and Dean's going to get another good run down the front straightaway here. But I think Jesse has a good chance of controlling this race if he's able to stay above it. Oh, Sean Corr with more trouble.
Sean Corr around again. His troubles continue. That brings out our 5th caution of the day.
You know,
same place off turn 4, just like the last time you brought out the caution.
Austin, we have to think about, remember, these teams have another set of tires on pit road. Ooh, I think at some point they're going to want to put these tires on. Is it too early? No. I talked to some of the crew chiefs, and they said probably around 75 or 80 is when we feel like we would have to put them on in case this race goes green, and we're right here at that moment in the race.
Riding on board, Sean Corr, see what happened here.
Just got loose getting in the corner. Sean has really battled this car all day long.
He saved it every single time.
Yeah. So easy to, you get loose in the corner, that's when you're most vulnerable. That's when you have to guard against backing up into the outside wall, and he's done a really good job of keeping that car underneath him enough to get around.
You know, Sean Corr, he's got the Reese's on board. That could be one of our nominees.
That looping it isn't going to make the sweet move of the race, because we keep seeing the Reese's logo, and I tell you what, he's not having fun each time he does that. And he's done a good job of keeping off the wall.
An earlier accident that brought out the caution, Jason Kitzmiller, that big fire. He's at the medical center. He has been released. Jason.
Yes, ma'am.
Good to see you're okay. How you feeling? That was a big hit.
I'm fine. I'm fine. Aggravated, but fine.
Yeah, it looked like you had a pretty good car, though. You made your way up into the top 10, battling around the top 10.
Yeah, we had a real good car. All I seen when we come off of 2s, the 15 bounced off the wall, and we was just in a bad spot. We had nowhere to go.
Yeah, you're exactly right. We're showing the replay right now, and absolutely nothing you could do about it, and certainly no intention on her part as well. Just a tough break for you.
No, the first time she hit us, I thought, okay, I can save it. But the last time she got the rear and turned us around, and I knew we was done. I was just holding on for, hope it didn't hurt that bad, right?
Yeah. What about Charlotte? We're going to see you back at Charlotte?
No, I don't think so. Our next race is going to be Michigan.
All right, buddy. Well, sorry you're out.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Pretty neat to put the headset on, be able to talk to these guys, you know, at least get their perspective and make sure, you know, they're okay. And tough break for Jason Kitzmiller, who, like you mentioned, had a great run. I mean, they're battling up there for the 5th spot in the race, and out of nowhere, nothing on his behalf that he did wrong. So 22 laps to go. Jesse Love, Dean Thompson, Taylor Gray, Connor Mosak. Who hangs on to it and drives it straight into victory lane? It's Ty Gibbs. We're glad you're joining us here on FS1. We've got a big day ahead. This is the first of a doubleheader. You see there, Race Hub's coming up next. We have the Cup Series practice and qualifying at 5 Eastern, followed by race day, and then the Craftsman Truck Series race at 8 p.m. Eastern. Ross Chastain running. Kyle Busch is running. Christian Eckes, though, on pole.
Jake Garcia, best career qualifying effort for him. Christian Eckes' teammate up in the top 5.
Races here always deliver. So if you're at home watching us, hopefully you could watch through the night. A lot of action still to come.
Our champion Zane Smith dominated this race here last year, the Truck Series race.
Okay, we're under caution here for the 5th time. 20 laps to go. There's an extra set of tires still sitting in the pits. What do you think, Phil?
I want them, Austin. How about you?
I always want tires. Tires are a good time, man. Let me tell you. But you got to think it's going to be a mixed bag inside the lead lap cars. I think there's going to be guys that stay out. I think there's going to be guys that take tires. But I would want tires with the amount of laps that are left. I mean, you saw how much that changed how a restart looks. Having fresh tires versus 15 lap used tires. The options that you have are a lot less. So I think being able to get tires, establish track position, I think is going to be your best chance.
Yes, all these teams want tires now. Whether somebody wants to gamble and save them for another 10 laps. Again, I mentioned Shannon Rush told me that it's never too late to put tires on. He would put tires on if we got a restart with 1 lap to go. He would put fresh tires on if they were laying in the pits. But I don't
he's
think
the leader.
Yeah, and we're inside of 20 laps to go, though. Yep. I don't know if these guys will gamble that we're going to get another caution flag and get them time to put the tires on.
Well, Shannon Rush knows what to do. He's won 5 straight races. Do you guys realize Shannon Rush he's crew chiefing for the ARCA Menards West, the East, the National Series? So he's on a roll. Actually, he's won 4 straight. He's going for 5. So we'll see if he can get it done with Jesse Love today.
All right, pit road is open, or will be open. There's Shannon right there. Going to make that call. I mean, he told me that around 75 or 80 laps that if we got a caution then that he would come and put tires on. Let's see. Obviously, he has a lot of information now. Some information could change his mind, but we'll see what happens. Their pit road will be open now. Looking as they come off for turn 4.
This will be interesting to see if there's any.
It's a great opportunity for somebody, since the leaders stay out. There's a great opportunity for somebody to gamble. Looks like, is that Tony Bridinger coming down pit road? One of the only cars to come down pit road. I think those guys are saving. Think we're going to get another caution flag. Christian Rose as well. The only 2 lead lap cars to come down pit road.
It's pretty surprising.
It is to me too, for sure.
Yeah, I would think someone, Perez or Coughlin or even Greg Van Alst or Jack Wood, some of those guys that maybe don't have the overall pace to maybe keep up with the top 3 guys, top 4 cars. I think that's a great opportunity to kind of give yourself an advantage.
Yeah, we haven't seen the speed out of Tony's car or the 32 of Christian Rose that even with fresh tires necessarily they're going to battle for the lead. Amanda.
We'll see how that turns out for Tony Bridinger. She was saying that she's just not comfortable running up at the top. Found that the car was just super edgy right there. I was talking to Taylor Gray on Tanner Gray if they were going to take tires for there, and he said, why wouldn't you? So surprised to see the 17 stay out. Heather?
And for the 25 of Dean Thompson, and listening on the conversation with his crew chief, he said, hey, if there were only 9 cars on the lead lap, I would have thought about coming. But since there's 15, we're going to decide to stay out. But I was listening to the spotter conversation on the 25. He has Lloyd Garner as his spotter. He has gotten Corey Heim all of his wins here at Kansas Speedway. So he just gave him some really good advice. When we saw the 25 take the lead, he said, when you get to the lead, it's not about running your lane. It's about taking the lane from the other driver, and then you can eventually work your way back to the top. So Dean Thompson here pulling double duty with the Truck Series and just trying to get seat time and learn as much as he can.
Yeah, interesting advice there for Dean Thompson, but this is just his 3rd career ARCA Menards Series start, so it's good to have those reminders now that you're up front. This is go time. We've got 18 laps, 17 laps to go here at the line.
And one of those starts was here. He had a top 10 finish in his only start here in the ARCA Menards Series. I would have loved to have seen somebody that has some pretty decent pace, like maybe a Cody Coughlin or maybe Andres Perez, to have put tires on there and gamble on not getting another caution flag, and to see what maybe that they can improve their lot. There they are right there, running 5th and 6th.
I like how Cody has his name right there on the side of the car. It makes it easy.
Yeah. That's his company, by the way.
Yes. Cody Coughlin Company.
Obviously, Cody family started Jegs way back in the day. I remember when I was a little kid going to the races at Toledo Speedway and watching a guy named Don Gregory race with Jeg sponsorship.
I'm excited for this restart. See what kind of fire's burning, and Dean Thompson to try and get this lead back. And
time's running out too for these guys, and we're going to be with what, 16 laps to go when we restart this race.
So this restart's going to be really important. Even older tires than last time. So I think establishing track position here right off the launch is going to be pretty important.
A couple of California kids on the front row. Dean Thompson from Anaheim, California. Jesse Love from Northern California. Pace car is off. 17 laps to go. Green flag is in the air. Really good restart for the 20 at Jesse Love.
Taylor Gray is going to battle Dean Thompson for that second spot.
I'll tell you, it's the same four up there, but Andres Perez is coming right there on the bottom in the 2.
That's everything Jesse Love wants to see behind him in the mirror. See all those cars racing for position, too wide for second place, and he's going to give him some clean air and time to get away as these two try and sort it out.
Only thing would be better if they were 3 wide behind them battling. Dean Thompson able to grab that second spot or keep Taylor Gray at bay.
Cody Coughlin not giving up. That bright yellow machine back there, the number 72 and 6th right there, trying to make the pass.
They give him the pit spot now over Andres Perez.
Jesse Love just checking out now, about half second over Dean Thompson. Taylor Gray, Connor Mosack. Coughlin in that 5th position, and Andres Perez in 6th.
Nice move on the outside by Cody Coughlin.
I'll tell you, 2 guys I've been watching today have done a nice job recovering from incidents that happened. Greg Van Alsten 8th, and you have Frankie Muniz, who had that problem on pit road, went a lap down, got his lap back, and now he's up to 9th.
Yeah, and how about Mandy Chick holding on to the top 10 in her home race?
DeSoto, Kansas. Making them proud.
Good battle right now with Tony Breidinger. Remember, Tony has fresh tires, trying to make her way around Mandy.
This is for the 10th spot. The 6th, the Jack Wood. He's been hanging back there in about 7th, 8th spot.
Yeah, nice pass on his teammate Andres Perez. Jack up to the 6th spot. Chased down Cody Coughlin.
It was the 2 team last year that went to victory lane here with Nick Sanchez. You knew Rev Racing was going to be strong here.
A couple top 10s already this year for Jack. And again, probably his best race was Phoenix when he got wrecked racing for the lead.
Three leaders are here pretty equal distant apart from each other, and they're running really similar lap times. Dean Thompson a little bit faster than the rest of them. I think
Jesse Wood grab that 5th spot. Jack is on the move here. 11 laps to go. Jack moved to the top of the racetrack and really making some ground up.
Track's good now. Ripping the top. Love to see that.
I'll be ready in cup practice. That's it's good to see.
See, it's the benefit of being here in the booth, right?
I get the best view. Absolutely the best view. And Jesse Love has the best view of this race so far for almost the entirety.
And you know who's got a good view? Billy Venturini. He's actually up in the spotter stand watching Jesse Love, just trying to help him with his lines throughout. Take a look back. Speaking of Jesse, just a couple of weeks ago, the end of the Talladega race.
Yeah, big moment for Jesse, getting that win on a super speedway and checking that box. I guess that's the first of many this year for Jesse Love, I believe.
Great job. And that, you know, it's a development series, the ARCA Menards series. You get a little bit of everything when you race in this series. And now he's, of course, of age. He's 18. He can run all the races. So first time on a 1.5 miles. That was his first time racing on a super speedway. Got the job done. Shannon Rush, his crew chief, likes what he sees. They've dominated today. Led 87 laps so far. Certainly not over.
Austin, watching the lap times, They really haven't fallen off that much, and I think that may be why these crew chiefs made the decision not to come to pit road on that most recent caution flag, because the pace hasn't fallen off that much.
Absolutely. Certainly the crew chiefs know their tire wear better than you and I do, standing from all the way up here. So obviously most of the field thought it was the right move, but between Jesse and Dean, they're running really similar lap times. So I think it's going to be tough for them to reel him back in as Jesse stays to be that consistent.
Yeah, Dean's lap time, that last lap, was within 1/100th of a second of Jesse Love's.
This has been a fun battle to watch here, just slipping and sliding, passing each other. Andres Perez in the 2. In the 6th spot, Cody Coughlin, though, they've been swapping back and forth for that 6th position.
And that picture right there is what's fun about this racetrack. You got one car that's painting the white line on the bottom and one that's all the way up within feet of the outside wall. So I think that's what makes the racing here so much fun, but also fun to watch.
If they were side by side, they would be 50 feet apart.
Right.
One on the bottom, one on the top.
Good way to put it in layman's terms, right? So close. Well, Christian Rose was one of those that decided to pit and take fresh tires. He's up to the 10th spot. Tony Breidinger, who we were just riding on board with right there in the 55, she's up to 12th. Going side by side with Mandy Chick, trying to take that 11th spot away. And she does. Tony Breidinger around Mandy Chick. Amanda?
Well, it's going to play over in her head. One of the things that the team was telling Mandy Chick earlier in the race was to drive harder into those corners and to protect this on entry. And as Breidinger goes around her, that's kind of what she was lacking just there.
Remember, fresh tires on Tony's car, where Mandy has, over 40 laps on her tires too.
And she gets that spot. Tony Breidinger in 11th. Mandy Chick moves back to 12th. That's a half second right there. Jesse Love, Dean Thompson.
Yeah, Dean was a 10th of a second faster, but Taylor was a 10th of a second faster than Dean. So it's heating up here, but I think this is actually just going to help Jesse's case if Taylor starts putting the pressure on Dean here.
4 laps to go here from Kansas Speedway. Can Jesse Love hang on and seal the deal? He's certainly been the best car all weekend long from the time they unloaded yesterday.
But he hasn't been able to drive away from these guys. He's led 92 laps, but he's never had more than a second lead on a second place car.
Yeah, it's been a really well executed race so far by Jesse. I think he lost the lead once on the restart, and that's really about it. But like you said, the competition's been pretty stiff for these top 3, and it looks like Taylor's able to get his car rolling about 10 laps into a run, just not quite enough to maximize the track position that he's had on restarts.
Dean was a couple tenths of a second faster that time than Jesse Love. Oh, sideway into the wall.
Taylor Gray.
You don't have to wonder about if he's given maximum effort.
Absolutely. See Jesse move back down to the bottom side of the racetrack. Our lead battle for the lead is actually closing up here.
See what happened to Taylor Gray. Just sideways slams the wall, keeps on digging.
Yeah, really similar to what happened to Amber Balkan earlier in the race. Just getting up high too late on the exit of turn 2 and having to back out and get loose. But Dean's closed the gap here in the last couple laps.
He's had the faster car, I think, the last 3 or 4 laps in a row. Catching Jesse's going to be one thing, but passing him is going to be another.
You see him starting to search higher and higher up the racetrack. That's what Taylor was able to do to catch up to these two, and that's what Dean's doing to run down. But we got the final lap coming up.
White flag is out. 1 lap to go. There's lap traffic ahead of the leaders. How will they work their way through?
The lap car's doing a really good job of staying out of the way right here.
Jesse Love's getting that pressure. Dean Thompson trying to close that gap even more. Can he get there? Jesse Love came into this race 10 points back. Won the race at Talladega. Jesse Love gets it done at Kansas. 2 straight wins in a row. Shannon Rush makes it 5 for 5, works with different kids, different series. Pumped up. Jesse Love comes to Kansas Speedway, first ever 1.5-mile track. executed it perfectly, as you said, Phil. Led 96 laps today.
Yeah, good effort for Venturini's 1-2 finish with Dean Thompson grabbing second.
Best career finish for Dean Thompson, who was putting the pressure on, certainly kept it exciting throughout the day. And there's Big Bill, and you know what that means? A big old kiss in victory lane. I think that's on their contract.
Is it?
It must be.
Must be, yeah.
You win, you kiss.
Yeah.
Jesse certainly got used to the taste of victory.
He's going for the no steering wheel move.
Yeah.
See how that plays out.
That's his thing.
You said earlier in the show, he's got the swagger.
He does.
Pulling the steering wheel off for a burnout. Definitely.
Well, he did that at Talladega, right? It only lasts a few seconds.
Yeah, no, he's definitely trying to make up for Talladega.
It'll be fun to see him in a few weeks when he gets an opportunity to jump in one of those Tricon Garage trucks too. I think he told me yesterday Gateway might be his first race in one of the trucks.
I believe that's his first one, but he's looking forward to that. And Tricon Garage to see what they've done. Coming over here today, Taylor Gray, they fielded a car for him. What a great race he had. He brings it home third even after getting into the wall. Jesse Love, 18-year-old from Menlo Park, California. He's victorious for the second straight race in a row. Fourth career win in the ARCA Menards Series National Series. A two-time ARCA Menards Series West champion. Well, Heather, he's going to be an excited driver. Take it away.
Yes, Jesse Love with back-to-back wins here, but he just said, I'm tired. So how hard was that race for you there? Because you are out of breath right now.
That puppy. Man, I just want to thank Billy Venturini and Shannon Rush. This thing's going to roll back any minute, but this place is tough. I've never raced in a mile and a half. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I did a B+ job yesterday and wanted to do an A+ job today, and I think then we got closer to it. So I just have a great car. I want to give all the glory to God first off and say hi to my family and my girlfriend back home. Of course, thank Gear Wrench for being on top of our number 20 Toyota Camry today. So hopefully it's first money at Kansas. It's fun. I am worn out. It's the most tired I've ever been. So I'm going to get me a nap. And thanks to all the fans for sticking out this heat. I wouldn't. So I'm very happy for you guys and want to thank y'all for coming out.
As you catch your breath here, you mentioned to Shannon, great job. You and your crew chief have been working hard on these race cars. Just what went into the effort that you put into this mile-and-a-half program this weekend?
You know, I'm going to brag on my guys a little bit. I mean, we're beating Cup guys, truck teams, all these guys, and we work hard. I mean, these guys work so damn hard. They're in the shop from 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. some nights, and that's why we win races. So I'm really proud of them. I want to thank Corey Heim for the help out here with how good he's been the last few years, and I'm going to get in this thing and drive it back before it rolls off. I don't know why it's rolling right now.
Jesse Love, your winner here at Kansas Speedway. Amanda?
Heather, when Dean Thompson's team got over to him, they apologized and said, I think we could have had something there. What do you feel was missing from the truck?
Thank you, man. Good job. Thank you. Appreciate it. I think we're really good. To be honest, I don't think we missed anything. I think Venturini put together a great car. I mean, we ran second, ran first, so I think they put together a great car. It's why I'm here. I'm learning. You know, dump dirty air on them. That's just things you gotta learn somehow. So glad I'm doing it here and not in a truck. So I gotta thank Thompson Pipe Group, MCM Transportation. They just came on. Gotta thank them. They've been awesome. Gotta thank Venturini, Toyota. Toyota's been absolutely phenomenal with developing me in my career. With how short the season's been already, I feel like I've already been twice as better. So.
Jesse said in his interview that he's absolutely wiped. When you got out of your car, you just said how exhausted you were. Talk about how difficult a race is in this heat.
It's super easy. I'm fine. No, I mean, these cars are super hot. I think these cars are hotter than trucks because they got that side window in them. And also my cool box broke. So really hot race. I mean, I don't blame them. I'm gassed too. And I do truck races that are a little longer. So, I mean, I just got to get better at TPC.
Rest up. We'll see you tonight.
Thank you.
Dean Thompson, I know he is in great shape. And Jesse, he bragged on his guys, but let's be real, he works out every day in the gym. Jesse's in great shape, and to see him so gassed, and I mean, this is one of the probably the longest race that he's ever had to endure, and hottest, no doubt. So well done by that young man. Well, we've been talking about the Reese's Sweet Move of the race. So here are the 3 nominees.
Yeah, there's Jesse avoiding Sean Corr early on in the race. Nice job there, keeping it out of the wall as well.
Good wreck avoidance here by Frankie Muniz, shooting it through the middle, getting his lap back,
Gonna split the defense.
Yeah, that's right. Split the defense, get a top 10 finish out of it. Dean Thompson with a heck of a move, top of 3, taking the lead. I think this one's my winner.
I like it. I like it. Took advantage of those cars running side by side, both of them getting a little bit loose.
So what do you think is the Reese's Sweet Move of the race? Remember to head over to the ARCA Menards Twitter and Facebook page tomorrow starting at 9 a.m. and let us know what you think. I think today was very entertaining. We had a battle up front. I mean, start to finish.
And both our top 2 finishers talk about how hot it was out there. This was 150 miles, 100 laps. Austin, you're going to do 400 miles tomorrow, and the heat's going to be just as hot as it is today.
I love it. I love it. I love the race today. I love that we had 3 cars that were really equal in speed. It was all about restarts, execution. I think the best driver and best team won the race today with their execution and being able to work the air. Jesse Love learning the mile-and-a-half style of racing. But yeah, it's a hot weekend and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, how about Dean Thompson? He's one of 3 drivers in the field that are doing double duty. What do you do now when you have these few hours before you have to suit up and get back in another vehicle to race?
You go to the infield care center probably and get an IV. Get some fluids in you.
Just get a sandwich and a Gatorade.
You're all about
the food. Well, you're used to it, though. Those guys are gassed now. So Dean Thompson's one of those drivers that's going to have to go and tee it up for a couple 100 miles.
Look at that. Shannon Rush, he's going to hitch a ride right now. We hope you guys enjoyed it. It's been a great day here from Kansas Speedway. Congratulations. Jesse Love is your winner. For Phil Parsons, Austin Cindric, Heather DeBow, Amanda Busick, I'm Jamie Little. On behalf of all of us here at FS1, stay tuned. Plenty more to come. Race Hub is next.